Welcome, friends. Ninja Havok here of Terran Gaming Veterans. Welcome to Star Citizen. Quick little demo to see what's going on here. We've got a lot of updates that have coalesced into this wonderful little game that's coming to stores near you quite soon, from what I hear. Let's see what they have in store for us. Been keeping my eye on this game for a while, being a backer of I think day 5, if I'm not mistaken. Played it a few times, got my bearings. There's lots to cover, but we'll go into that. Alright, so we're here, we're awake. Let's take a good look around here. So we are on the highest possible settings available for the graphics in this game. At least what's currently turned on. We can see what we can do here. Oh, we can interact with objects. We can inspect them. I guess we can place them too. Oh, cool. We can place them sideways. Oh, we can even place them like that, look at that. Alright. Where's my teddy bear? There's my teddy bear. So, persistence is kind of working. I picked this teddy bear up earlier. That was over here, put it there. Kind of gives me an idea as to what they're doing. If they're doing any resets. So now I'll just kind of know. So, quick understanding about this game. It is gargantuan. Kind of a word I don't really use that often, but it is absolutely that. And it is very large for an environmental experience. But a lot of that comes with the unfortunate thing of uselessness. That is just part of the ambiance. You're just going to have to get past that if that bothers you. Chairs, yes, they're there. You can sit in them. Screens will eventually have information on them, but they're there. You might not want to use them. But what I'm talking about more is like sinks, bathrooms. Granted, I can go into this bathroom. I can open the door. I can pull out the shitter, if I can even say that on Twitch. Let's go ahead and pull that out. Let's pull out another sink. Let's pull out the shower. Here we go. We can even open up a storage area down there. Look at this. Open that, and apparently there's a toilet paper roll in there, which you can't interact with. But it's there, nonetheless. But that is what I'm talking about. Items, like all these things right here, have no use. You can't consume these plants. You can't put things into containers. You can't probably drink this water, I'm not sure. But if I carried it, let's see. I can drop, I can inspect, and I can place. So the answer to that question is no. And are you able to put it exactly back the way you found it? I'm sure they're going to work on things like that. Oh, there you go. Kind of, sort of. And they're obviously going to have to work on object occlusion and all this other things. You can see the models are kind of interacting with each other. Certain plants, they still have to work on this too. Like, there's no wind in here, but yet, as you can tell, you know, there is wind in here apparently. Clothing, I don't know if it's here for vanity reasons, but as you can see, you can go into third person. You can span and take a close look at yourself. Right now I'm in my suit. Maybe I can take it off. I have no idea yet. Maybe I can put on some regular civilian clothes. Doors. all seem to have an actual click. In the future, you're going to probably want to know where your home is. A lot of people just run out of these places and have no idea where they are. You also have no idea what floor you're currently located on, of whatever building you're located on. But you do kind of get some common sense things. So you see, my unit is 7, right? So we're going to go out, and this shows you that this area was 5 to 10, just like in any normal building. One of the most amazing things about this game is this invention of multi-class. You can access it by hitting your F1 key on PC, and this is basically your wonderful computer system. It shows you quite a lot of detail, and there's a lot of options. Comm links. You can mess around with your ship, your own personal equipment. There's a lot of things in here. Your journal. Contracts you can pick up, and of course it tells you your basic stats of what's going on with your suit. I don't know how that's going to behave, because unless you physically look into your suit, if there is something going on with the environment or something is going on with your suit, I'm sure there must be some sort of a pop-up or alert or something that will inform you of it. But till that end, you'd have to physically go in here to interact with practically everything that's non-interactable within the game's environment. And I mean everything. You're going to have to open up your star map. And there's a lot of gripes I have with it. They need to obviously fix everything, because when you open up the star map, you get this. Until you figure out that you need to scroll out with your mouse to actually get a grasp and an idea of where you are, that'll take you a minute. And you might have to ask some people, which we have a wonderful community here, except for a few trolls that we're working on quieting down. But a very informative community, very helpful people. And questions like this are definitely one of the questions you'll ask. How do I see where I am? But this is a star map. It would be better, in my opinion, if this particular mobi-glass system would also provide you with details of where you are on the ground. Like, for example, the floor I'm located on. But they solved that simplicity with just adding level 2. So I'm at level 2, and my home is 7. At least here. Why that's my home, I have no idea. I guess it was auto-generated for me by the game. I didn't choose where I want to live or what location I want to be stationed at. And this apparently changed months ago, because I was in a different system at the time. But the elevator system obviously works as you would expect it to be. I'm gonna go to the ground floor here. The thing you need to remember about this game is its massive complexity. And if you approach that complexity with simplicity and common sense, you will figure things out very quickly. Most of the NPCs at the moment are kind of useless. There are a fair few that you could interact with, like this gentleman here.
Something I can help you with.
So now you would see that this is another caveat right now. The screen is zoomed in. I'd have to kind of back up a little bit. If you back up too much, the conversation will end, just like with standing in front of a computer panel. But I would say...
can't talk right now.
Let's try that again.
Something I can help you with.
So you'd have to hold your interact key to select these things. And let's say we want to go with... We can't currently make a pickup or a delivery. However, we can ask him how it's going.
I can't talk right now.
You know, and you get that. So pretty much the NPCs themselves are disabled. If you were to eventually pick up a contract where you'd have to do a pickup and delivery mission, usually you access it here in your contracts manager station. And like, for example, this mission, I can do a pickup and a delivery for this delivery pilot mission. Accept the offer. I'd have to go somewhere to pick up the product, but when you deliver it, In fact, you would probably be able to pick it up from these locations to have seen missions like that. You would walk up to this section here to do the pickup or the drop-off. This box would open, you would toss it in there. So it kind of forces you to interact with boxes and storage devices to learn the place command, which is very convenient to move items around. You can also interact with things like that for missions. And another good thing to mention about this particular section, which is very useful, players could also go in here and make a personal mission. If their ship explodes for whatever reason, they get stranded somewhere, they can go in there and ask for a pickup. So there you go, a nice living, breathing environment. That's a lot of things are currently turned off, obviously.
With so many options, there's always something waiting for you.
Hot steaming burritos, nachos.
Your next favorite shirt to the jacket you need to have.
No money, no prices.
Has everything you want to wear.
And of course you can't interact with it at the moment. But the question is, if you could, would you? So what we're going to do is we're going to do a quick rundown, go show you where the ship is. I'm sure you've seen plenty of YouTube videos on how that works. There's the tram. But before we get there, I'd like to show you a quick little thing that I noticed here yesterday. This Astra Armada location. This is a lovely little place where you can actually view and buy your own ships. And I don't even know if you jump off this thing? Probably not. No. Certain things are just locked from you to interact with. But like I was saying before, huge open space. Most of it's useless. The only useful part about this entire space is these computers and I guess whatever ship they want to demo today. But this was a stroke of genius. These computer systems that they've created into this game, wonderful. There are various types of these types of computer systems. This particular one, where to buy a ship. Let's see, and you can select by a specific company. Or you can just do all. Things are already kind of sorted for you as far as price, I think, but not really, I guess. There's no real sort option. But you can go one by one and kind of see what's going on. You could also kind of look around. You could zoom in. Now, I would prefer a couple of things. I would prefer, obviously, a price sorting option here to be added. But more importantly, I would prefer to be able to click on a button to view that ship in kind of like in actuality and place it here. I would even make this room even larger in order to fit these ships here on that platform, and I would have that platform rotate because you'll be able to see something here that will be highly more visible than you would, you know, on a small little screen like this with zoom options. You know, obviously this looks great, but you would definitely want to see it in kind of like its perspective scale. There's a lot of obvious ships here. There's a lot of interesting looking ships here. This is a very pretty one. There's plenty to buy here. And you're gonna have to work hard to get that money. From what I can tell, nothing in this game comes easy or cheap. And I will tell you this, for those of you like myself who have been a backer since within the first 10 days of this game announcement, and I don't mean the secondary backing from the website, I'm talking about way before the website launch backing, you got a ship, and that's pretty much it. So, is there a lot of love for the original backers? Not so much, in my opinion. Most games out there who, you know, support the game from the beginning, they do cater in some way, shape, or form to give some various useful items to gamers that have been there at the beginning. Here, they give you a few, just to give you kind of a small, quick start. As opposed to those, you know, who just joined the game, they're going to be able to do the same thing I'm doing. The only difference is they're going to have to do it the hard way. Whereas I have a ship, and technically speaking, it would be the easier way. But that easy way isn't that easy, if you get what I'm saying. It's still quite hard. 6,000 credits for a mission. A mission for a pickup and drop off that would take you anywhere currently, because the game is set up approximately 30 minutes to about an hour, if not longer, depending on how far you need to fly. That's a lot of time. So there's 2 Tram Systems. By the way, we're at Area 18. This is the actual location here. It's called Area 18. 2 Tram Systems, one going to the convention, which I've never been to, which I don't care about right now. The purpose of this place is to show you the spaceport. So we're going to take the tram and really open up this actual location to you. Because from what I understand, this is an entire living, breathing planet. And we're going to see exactly what that's all about.
Tram now approaching.
Very useful feature, as you saw the timer. You can see we're it's departing.
Strong winds can arise suddenly.
And inside the tram, you can also see information. As you can see, there's no number here, as opposed to how the sign was working outside. So there's some minor coding that you can do to fix it. And off we go from where we came. So, as you can tell, it seems like any other normal game. Like, all that is just vanity. You know, you can look around, but it's not. I'm not going to say you can walk around there, and most of the place is obviously shut down. There is a shield kind of area over this entire place, so the ships don't fly too low to protect, I guess, you know, NPCs. But it is a living, breathing environment. There are vehicles moving about. There are trams going back and forth. And it is not just localized to this one place. It's the entire planet. It's a level of scale that when you finally grasp, you'll hit that wow factor yourself. So here we go. We're arriving. No loading screens, no nothing. We're here. Some of the NPCs have some features enabled right now, like you could walk up to them and they'll look at you and they'll keep looking at you. Other NPCs just don't have that option right now. They're just mindless, standing there. He looked, but that wasn't towards me. He just looked. So we're heading over to the Ryker Memorial Spaceport. It's going to take some time to grab our ship. But like I said, like you're walking through this place, all these little nooks and crannies. Like, why is this here? You don't know. There's no reason for it to be here, but that's a perspective that, you know, comes without any information. Perhaps maybe this restricted area is part of some sort of pirating thing that maybe someone's going to want to go steal something from there. You have no idea. And that might actually be the case. But things like this, like, why is this here? Why are these lights here? Are they performing a function? Maybe it is. Maybe it's just turned off. Maybe it looks like an X-ray system of some kind to scan for weapons for security reasons. There is a security guard here. Ready, willing, and able to serve. To shoot you in the face very quickly. And apparently they really are seriously worried about fire here. I mean, wow. Everywhere you look. In any event, let's go and recall the ship. Unfortunately, until they make this game permanent without reloads, I'm going to have to always come in here and claim my ship. So, the last time I was here was destroyed, apparently, when it technically wasn't. I landed my ship at a spaceport, but that's for now. Everything here apparently works through some sort of a, you know, kind of like a Geico system, I guess. There's insurance, you file a claim, and you wait for it to come to you in 7 minutes. We can expedite that time for a small little 526 credits here. We'll expedite that to a minute, and what do we do for a minute? A minute's time.
Obey all security
It's a
and
lot.
customs personnel at
Look at
all
that, a
times.
VIP lounge.
Their job is your safety.
Traveling rental. So obviously, there's no point for us to go to the VIP lounge. What would we do there? You know, there's nothing to do here because even if it was all activated, you're not going to drink coffee. You're not going to sit. You're not going to use that time. You're going to do something else. Talk to your friends. So there are areas of the game that are completely useless, but that's, again, a perspective. Maybe down the road, 20 friends will meet up in that VIP lounge. They'll say, hey, let's meet up at the Spaceport at this location at the VIP lounge. So now it becomes a meeting area that before didn't exist. You know, maybe there'll be a guild meeting there, who knows. But there is something cool about this section here. It's a rental station. So if you don't have a ship, you can come in here and for a relatively cheap amount of money, rent for a single day
Their job is yours.
this nice little Mustang Alpha. Look at this little thing. It's adorable. I doubt it's going to have any weapons, because it's just a rental. But it's a multi-role, light freight starter kind of ship that you can just grab for a day.
Please
You know,
beware.
you can
The
go
well-understanding system
grab something like this guy right here
all UEE common
for
laws
a lot more
are
money.
defended.
And you could rent this not just for a day, 3 days, 30 days. You know, there's a lot of different options. Now, there are some visual glitches, like this one is an example, but if you kind of zoom in, it'll fill. See, there you go. So there's another one here for this
Your
guy.
personal belongings are your personal
If
responsibility.
you zoom in as far as you can and kind of pan, it'll come into play. And this is something very pretty. It is a nice little racing kind of ground bike. Beautiful design. The designing in this game is, again, superb. If I haven't said it once, I'll say it 100 times. Absolutely superb designing. I mean,
From transforming
look at the
worlds
level of
to
detail.
stars, our core
The shadow
is
of the
rapidly
glass from
linking
behind
principles
that
together.
panel.
Our core, investing in tomorrow's future.
You know, like it's really something. All right, let's retrieve our vessel.
Your ship has been delivered to the following landing pad.
Hangar 1. All right. So we're gonna go to Hangar 1.
Please be
Now, at
aware
this point, you'd be
that
wondering, well, where could Hangar 1 possibly be? Is it? Do I look for it up here?
Common laws are still
You know, like
defended.
there's this whole time schedule up here about incoming and outgoing flights that is currently meaningless, but it might come into something. It might be related to NPC data coming up. A pirate might walk in here, look at that, and go, "Oh, okay, there's a huge shipment of something coming in," and he might go and plan ahead and use that
Obey
to
all
their
security
advantage.
and customs personnel at all times. Their job is
Follow
your
the
safety.
signs, look around, eventually common sense, hangars. Okay, good. Room full of elevators, obviously elevators, so call the elevator. Anyone who tells you this game is too hard to figure out,
Want your company to be a good company?
they have difficulties with common
Our
sense.
corp's unique vertically integrated corporate
And
parks
this is just the
offer
beginning.
amenities such as
So where we
resort
going?
and logistical para
Hangar
for
1,
rental
right? There we
partners.
go. So
Inquire today to
have
learn
to
how
back
you
up a
can
little bit
invest
probably
in
'cause
making our core your
there's a
new
lot
home.
of hangars here. Okay, Hangar 1. As you can see, the elevator is moving kind of horizontally as opposed to vertically. Or maybe both. And we're here. Hangar 001 as opposed to 1. And there we go. 300i from Origin Works. Alright. So ship function is obviously important. There's an interactable little panel here I can show you. Like there's a storage compartment bay. I got stuck in here if you guys want to laugh for a minute. This was a bunch of patches ago when it was broken. And what do we got here? So we could open the door, which I kind of find really funny. Why? What's the purpose? And before the opening of the door feature, there was a enter ship feature that pulled down a ladder. But notice I'm going to back up a lot. It will still automatically pull me into the ship. A feature that I am totally against. I feel you should manually get in. But nonetheless, we're inside. Full glass roof panel. That's it. This is all the space you get. Non-interactable drinks. Or maybe they are. I have no idea. Wine glasses with no wine. Probably gotta get some if that's even a thing. Place to sleep. I will be using that, I'm sure. And the can. Oh boy. Alright. So, you come into the ship, into this ship for the first time, into any ship. What do? Again, approach it from a logical standpoint. Sit in the chair. Start there. Really important is for you to become accustomed with and very familiar with the game's keybinds. Wonderful thing about this system is when you roll your mouse over it, you get a nice zoom in. It shows you everything in detail of everything you need to know. You can change it from flight to ground on foot and see what it's going to change like there and become very familiar with it. Now when I say very familiar with it, believe me, you're going to want to become very familiar with keybinds for this particular game because this particular game is designing things using actual physics. You will be able to fly this ship vertically, horizontally, forward and back, left and right, and everything in between. As opposed to other games that don't bother with that high level amount of physics. You might think it's difficult. In fact, it's not. Once you get the hang of it, you'll actually enjoy it far more. The ship does have an afterburner, but not in the sense you would expect from other games. It's not a thing to just use and gain fast amount of speeds for a long amount of time. It's designed to give you quick bursts of speed, and you will have to monitor your engine's heat. Your engines will overheat, you're going to be in trouble. Landing gear, countermeasures, all the things you would expect to actually have in a real ship. Scanning modes, space brake, which is an amazing tool. It literally starts shooting out things, I'll show you how that works, and basically stops you. Cruise control will maintain the level of speed at which you are currently at, nothing more, just the speed. Your quantum drive, we're going to go into that in a minute. But in the meantime, we need to figure out how to turn things on. So we see power on, engine on, shields on, weapons on. So you got all of these wonderful things. U to P seems to be kind of like important. Even lights. Apparently there's lights here. They don't function obviously because the ship is off. So turn it on. U. There you go.
Origin jump ports at your service. Core system operational.
Now, once you zoom in and actually start looking at things, which is going to take you a minute to actually figure out, how do you actually zoom in, right? So zooming in is quite easy. You would just hold in your use key and just use your scroller key to, and then pan around. But as you can see, these things are just not, they're not just here for visual aesthetics. Every single thing you see here is interactable. Everything. And as you can see, they're all the same, but there's a reason for that. You get to decide how you want to fly your ship. You know, I, for one, for example, I want to see my shield level here. I want to see my weapon level here. I want to see what's going on with my weapons, which ones are on or off, how much do I have of my usage, rockets, things like that. I want my comm system here, so I can see incoming channels. And I definitely want to see my heat status here. And then you can interact as you go. Even this is something you can mess around with. Go to my location, set destination, radar scale, all of it interactable. Now, you look around, we came from behind us, we looked to the right, we looked in front of us. How do we get out of here, right? It's kind of like difficult to realize, but you have to approach it as if you were, again, common sense, in a plane. How would you request to leave? You would have to contact the flight deck or something, right? So that's what we're going to do. They kind of hid it, but don't worry, it's in a smart place. You would open up your chat system, go into your contacts, and then whenever you are close to the vicinity of the place where you need to either land or lift off from, you'll see in your contacts a new contact appear of the place that you want to contact. Everything else is automated.
You are clear to launch.
As you leave the system and you look, the doors are starting to open. Now, the ship has been powered on. And normally when you power everything on, it powers up everything for you, but you can double check.
Engines active.
Okay, the engines were off. I just activated them. Let's try the shields.
Shield system inactive.
Okay, and as you can see, they're draining, so I'm going to turn them
Shield
back on.
system active.
Weapons.
Weapons deactivated.
Good, which we don't need, right? Alright, now, we have, as you can tell, this is our ship. We have landing gear, so we're going to have to take care of that. So, let's begin by, very simply, lifting. We're up. We're going to go ahead and bring our landing gear back up.
Landing gear.
Alright, landing gear's back up now. There you go. And now we're going to just push forward. And as you can see, right away, there's a grid shield. It showed you.
And please visit again.
They showed you where you cannot be flying. So we're going to go above that. Get over it. And you would expect it just point up to go up, but you don't have to. You could, without pushing forward, just go vertical. That's all you gotta do. And you can go back down. So you can kind of control where you want to go. You want to go left? I'm sorry, in this case, right. Let's go left. Just as a ship should function. So the physics are there. Now it's up to you to learn how to use them. Let's talk about speed. To your left, you see the altitude, 1,530. We're going to hit W, which is your go. Obviously, it's your energy to the weapon, into the engines. And we hit 203 kilometers per hour. Now, that might seem that that's the max. How do you increase that max? You're going to scroll your mouse up just a little bit while holding your maximum speed. And as you can tell, you'll approach your max again, but you won't be able to go beyond it. And the reason for that is very simple. Physics. The drag on the ship, you're in the atmosphere. But let's get a little bit of elevation, and you'll notice your speed starts to increase exponentially. The reason for that is the atmosphere is being reduced, which means that your speed is changing. Thinner atmosphere, less resistance, your engines can push forward. And as we discussed, you can keep increasing. You can use the Afterburner to give you a quick boost. But you gotta watch out.
Engines overheating.
Gotta watch out for that. Can't push the ship beyond its limits. It knows its limits. But in quick maneuvers and quick situations, you never know. Alright. So we want to take a look at our heat levels. They're right there below. Heat's dropping. As soon as I increase the speed, for example, watch what happens to the speed as I go. See the heat going up, going up. Oh, we're already at max, it wouldn't matter. But you get the point. So let's see where we're located. Let's see what's going on. As you can see, we're approaching max speed. I hit the cruise control so we stay at our max level. And as you can tell, we are literally leaving the atmosphere. Now, how do you know that you've left? It's simple, common sense again. When the altitude number reaches blank, you're in space. And there you have it. Now, you are officially out of the atmosphere. And everything is exactly as you would expect it, not just in the planet, but in space as well. You can tell that the sun is located on the far side of that area of the planet, where it isn't on that. You can see the atmosphere and how thick it is. And it's all in scale. Now you take a step back and kind of realize, I'm in space. Space is insanely massive. Where do I go? Why am I here? What am I supposed to do? Same exact situation works in NASA, SpaceX. They have to know where they're going. They have to have computer systems. So we have our own here. And they're going to develop strongly. For now, we could turn a mission on and kind of go somewhere. Let's make it simple. We are located here. Now, the map is an issue. That doesn't kind of show you where you currently are right now. It is a little bit of a pain. But if you just roll your mouse over some areas here, you can kind of figure out where you currently are. So let's say I want to go here. Double click, brings you up. Click on this location. Place you can refuel, restock yourself, your ship. Let's set the route. Current fuel 700, required fuel that amount to actually travel there. The route's been set, we exit out of the system, and now we look for it. Again, common sense. Where is it? There is an arrow there. There we go. Now, we have to fly there. Now, granted, flying there is going to take a very long time. So, we're going to use our quantum drive to get there. Spooling complete.
Quantum drive activated.
So it's relatively close.
Deactivated.
We're gonna turn our cruise control off. We think we passed it. But we're approaching it nonetheless. So that's another thing, like selecting this thing. What is this thing? I selected it from the map, but now I want to kind of see it. You know, and right at this particular moment, I don't know how far it is. I can't tell. It was just a place I selected to go. So apparently it's very far, and that's a quick way to tell. You just open up your quantum.
Quantum drive
So it's about almost 3 million kilometers away. And all the space in between us.
Alert. Emergency stop.
Okay. Why did that just happen? Comlink lost.
Attention. Please hold for your vessel to be scanned.
Okay. There's a first.
Alert. Engines overheating.
I didn't even get an opportunity to slow down. And I'm an immediate criminal, apparently. Okay. Happy that actually happened on live, so they can see that. Maybe give us a minute or two, at the most, maybe, I don't know, 30 seconds to kind of say, yeah, I want to stop the ship, or maybe interact with them. Why do you want to stop me? Why do you want to search me? Do you have probable cause, or is space completely lawless and police can do whatever they want?
Quantum drive
Let's get back
activated.
to what we're doing. So, again, I was saying that space is fully interactable. Like, he just stopped me. A pirate can stop you. And, if you want, you could also get up and walk around. And that's another point. What if I'm walking around? How am I going to stop the ship? Yeah, I know you just heard those noises. Though apparently those noises are a little bit of a bug. With my shield on, apparently my ship takes plenty of damage. Another bug. They're working on a lot of little things, but yep, that's me right there. A lot of weird noises coming from all over the place. And looks like we're here. 121 kilometers towards the destination.
Quantum drive deactivated.
Turn off the quantum drive. Alright. At a little space station, it seems like. It's hard to see with the sun, but eventually you can get around that. As you can tell, we're creeping up onto this thing like driving Miss Daisy, but that's all, I guess, part of the game. They want you to increase your engine capacity. They want you to buy better this, better that. I get it. What is that? Looks like a big rock. That is one big asteroid. Alright, so now we're approaching the space station. I can now kind of see it. The sun is not blocking it anymore. Now what do? We need to land. contact them.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
And there you go. So there you go. I see it's assigned. I have no idea what it looks like or how it looks like, but gravity is pushing me. So it's not up, it's down. Okay, so that's not how we can do it. We can see where we're going. Obviously, you don't want to hit anything. That would be very bad. Deploying landing gear.
Landing gear deployed. Landing complete.
And
Weapons active.
Landing complete. Have a pleasant stay.
Weapons deactivated.
that's the end of that. Ship is turned off. Let's get up. So now while we're on the ship, before we leave, it's very important to kind of, you know, refuel, get your repairs going on, things like that. You're going to hit up your Mobi-Glass. You're going to jump into your vehicle loadout manager, if I'm not mistaken, or was it vehicle maintenance service, excuse me. And apparently these guys are out of stock. It's unfortunate. Now that may be because the ship's turned off. I have no idea. Let's double check that. Alright,
Origin jump works at your service. Core system operational.
let's try this. So, yeah, they're either because I'm a criminal now or whatever. I have no idea. Maybe that's the reason. But I will tell you this. Already many times you'll be sitting at the space station and for whatever reason they want to put your ship in storage because it's interfering with landings, there's too many people. They don't give you a lot of time to get into your ship and leave, and you might still have business to conduct here. So yes, there will be times where you're going to have to sit down and wait for them to, you know, retrieve your ship again. And yes, again, that staircase wonderful little glitch keeps happening. And that's it. We are on this space station. Things are moving. Things are happening. And considering I'm a criminal, you never know. I might get arrested the second I walk in here. I don't know. But we're gonna find out. No one arrests me? No, we don't want to go to Hangar 2. We're gonna go to the lobby. In any event, I'm going to go ahead and conclude this video. As you can tell, no loading screens, full environment, stopping while in quantum slip drive, having to interact with things. This is one massive gargantuan system and game in general. And yes, I did click on the hangar by accident. There's a lot to be done. And as gamers, we should be immensely proud of what they have accomplished thus far, despite the amount of time it took them. So this is Ninja Havok from Terran Gaming Veterans signing off. Thank you for watching. We'll be back.